Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Make a Better World. I'm your host, David Tare, and today I'm going to talk about what I did yesterday, which was to go to the Democratic rally for Harris here in Las Vegas. It was about a half an hour walk from where I live, and it was a big deal. But I got to see our vice president and Democratic presidential candidate for the upcoming election. It's only in 36 days, so we got to do what we can now. So anyway, let's just begin. So I got there about the things I was scheduled to start at 3 o'clock. It was scheduled from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. So it was a 6 hour event, and I got there early, and I'm glad I got there early because it was a huge crowd. There were probably about 1,000 people there right when I got there, and I had to wait outside for about an hour before I could even get in. They had a big crowd outside that kept growing, and they were selling all sorts of stuff, including Kamala t-shirts. I actually bought one. I should be wearing it, but I'm not. But anyway, they were sort of selling t-shirts and pins, and they were giving away free drinks to stay hydrated because it was very hot outside. We're having kind of a heat wave. And as you know, it gets very hot here in Vegas. It's probably up to about 100 degrees. But finally, we got in, and this is a picture of some of the people inside. And I was lucky enough to get in early, so I got pretty close to the front of the audience. There were only about maybe 4 or 5 people right in front of me, a line of about 5 people, or not a line, but a crowd of about 5 people in front of me. Uh, and they got started, I guess. Well, they did a lot of stuff. I mean, they didn't really have speakers until the very end. I mean, they had about maybe 7 or 8 speakers. Kamala finally spoke. I think the last half hour or so. She gave a really great speech. I'll get into that later. But yeah, here's a picture of her. These are kind of out of order. Yeah, the first. I mean, I think right before Kamala, they had Democratic senator from Nevada. That's Jackie Rosen, and everybody who spoke said some really good things, not just Kamala. I mean, they all said how really important, how crucial it is for the country, for the world probably, to vote for Harris in this election because, as we all know, Trump is a joke, not only a joke, but I think he's dangerous and scary. And they mentioned Project 2025 several times. I think all of them did just about, which would basically just is just all for him and all for his cronies and the rich people in this country, and it would screw everybody else. And they mentioned women's rights many times. Women's rights to have done to her body what she wants to do, not to have it dictated by the government, which is what Trump administration wants to do. Roe versus Wade has already been overturned, and now already I think in something like 23 states, women aren't allowed to get an abortion, and they have to get permission from their state governments in order to have anything done with their body, and it's just really ridiculous. It wasn't just women's rights, but they were talking about families, they were talking about small businesses, talking about the future of this country, and just how important it is to have a country like our founding fathers envisioned of the people, by the people, and for the people. Let me switch back to Kamala here. So she kind of summarized all these points at the end. She pretty much raised the same points she did at the DNC, but she did a really good job with it. And like I said, she spoke for about a half an hour. I videotaped as much of it as I could. I didn't think I was appropriate for me to just post the video here on YouTube. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that, but I thought I'd just talk about it anyway. And there's 30, like I said, there's 36 days until the election, and I'm gonna try to do all I can. I mean, I'm glad I went to this rally, but I want to get involved in some other stuff as well. Nevada's a swing state, and if we get enough people to vote for Harris in Nevada, that could make the difference in this election. only need a few electoral votes from Nevada. That could do the job. But we can all I've always thought we can all play our part to make the world a better place just by doing what's right, what we feel is right in our hearts. So I hope enough of you feel as passionate about electing Harris as I do. Just the consequences. I can't emphasize this enough, but I'm 62 years old. I've mentioned this several times. I've seen presidential elections for most of my life, and I've never seen anything like the election we're having right now. I mean, this is just the clearest cut case in my mind between right and wrong. Harris versus Trump. So vote for the right candidate because this is a critical moment in our history, and I think Kamala is going to make a good president. I've said so before. Um, I'm very hopeful about her and her administration she'll be having if she becomes president. And I like a lot of things about her. I think for a woman, she's pretty tough. She's tough against the people she needs to be tough against. She was talking about immigration. She was talking about how she worked, with the Mexican government to keep out the illegals, but to allow for legal immigration into this country. They had a Mexican speaker. I can't remember his name, but he talked about how important it was to have a good relationship with the Latinos and with everybody. And we can't be divided. That's another thing. They kept mentioning this at the rally, and I agree. It's easy to get divided these days, even for people on the left. It's easy to hate the right, and who couldn't hate Trump? But we have to be careful. We have to be careful who we point our finger at. I mean, I think there's hope for us, and there's also hope for the people who right now want to vote for Trump. Maybe enough of them can be turned around because they're people too. Don't forget that everybody in this country is a human being, even Trump. I hate to admit it, but we're all human beings, and we all have redeeming qualities and propensity for good. I think most people are good deep down inside. Maybe not everybody knows exactly what we need and what's at stake, and they probably don't know all the issues, and they probably don't know really what's going on completely. So we have to educate them, and we have to just make sure that Harris wins because she needs to. Anyway, that I think that concludes my video for today. Oh, here's a picture of the expo where they had the rally as I was leaving, and I was standing for 6 hours at this thing, and I was so tired, and my feet were so stiff when I left that I couldn't even walk for about 10 or 15 minutes. Eventually, I did walk back home, but it wasn't easy. But anyway, I'm glad I went to this thing, like I said, and I have been politically active in the past, and my first political activity was in the 80s when Reagan was president. I went to two marches in the 80s. I went to another two marches, right after Trump got elected in 2016. You know, I may go to some more, especially if he wins. If he wins, I think we all have to march. I think we have to take back this country. We're supposed to be a democracy. We can't allow America to become a dictatorship, which it will under Trump. So if that happens, we have to fight to get it back. But anyway, enough said. That concludes my video. Thank you for watching. By the way, there's a picture on this slide too. This is a mural or some graffiti that some people made near where I live, actually, maybe half an hour walk from where I live. It says "Rock the Vote," and if you notice, there's a homeless guy towards the left. Looks like he's picking something up from the ground, and I see this all the time here in Vegas. Unfortunately, there's a lot of homelessness. I take 2 hour walks every day, and I probably walk by about a dozen homeless people every day. And I try to help them out by donating, $10 worth of groceries every week to this homeless shelter near where I live. I'm trying to do my part to make the world a better place, and I hope you guys can do some of that too. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. Thank you for watching. Let's make a better world, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.